Today we're going to be putting together the biggest, baddest dinosaurs from Ixalan into our deck and see how much value we can get from these new creatures. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at the biggest, baddest dinosaurs from the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. We've made a deck out of as many of these cards as we can, and we're going to see how well we do in our ranked games today. We're going to break down the deck list really quickly. First of all, we have Triumphant Chomp, which can do 2 damage to a creature, or damage equal to the greatest power among dinosaurs we control, which could be 7, could actually be more, but let's just say 7 is what you need to kill Atalis and Atraxas. So 7 is pretty much all you ever need. We've got Ixali's Lawkeeper for the extra mana ramp to cast our dinosaur spells. We've got Belligerent Yearling, a 2-mana 3/2 trample that can take on the power of other dinosaurs. So, play this on turn 2. On turn 3, if you play a Hammerskull, you could be hitting with a 6/2 trample, which is not bad for an uncommon. We've got Gaia's Gift for a bit of protection, to put +1 counters on things just to boost them a little bit more, but more importantly to give trample to our big dinosaurs that don't have trample. We have Intrepid Paleontologist, another human druid that can add 1 mana of any colour, but this can also exile dinosaur cards from our graveyard and we can play them again, so we get a bit of extra added value even when our creatures die. We've got a couple of treasure maps, because when you have 1 mana left over at the end of your turn and you have the ability to scry 1 on every turn, or at least for the next 3 turns, then that's going to help you deal with too much land or not enough land, for one thing, but also just find, in general, the things you need. And considering this can then become extra treasure tokens and extra card draw, it is just lots of value in a small little artifact there. We've got the Hammerskull. It's a 3-mana 6/6. It shuts down mono red and all kinds of other things. It does loads and loads of damage. You need to have other dinosaurs out when you attack with this, ideally, so it doesn't get a stun counter. But because the deck is full of dinosaurs, that is not normally a problem. We've got the Rampaging Raptor, a 4-mana 4/4 trample haste dinosaur. The haste sometimes comes in useful, so we want to have at least one of these, but most of the time it isn't the best one that we draw, but it does help us deal with planeswalkers, considering when it does damage to an opponent, it can deal that much damage to a planeswalker or a battle they protect. We don't have battles in this deck, but planeswalkers we can get rid of that way. We do have the Hulking Raptor as well. It's a 4-mana 5/3 ward 2 dinosaur that adds 2 green mana to our mana pool at the pre-combat main phase. So we can play some bigger things. It really helps us ramp up. Considering we have the Lawkeeper and the Paleontologist as well, it's going to help us get to those big spells really quickly. We've got Roaming Throne, which is an amazing creature. It's an artifact, so you can't go for the throat on the Roaming Throne, but it also doubles the triggered abilities of a certain creature type. So any specific tribal or creature type deck like this, we can select Dinosaur when this enters the battlefield, and all the dinosaur things will trigger an additional time. So Hulking Raptor gets not just 2 mana, but 4 mana at the beginning of our turn. The Rampaging Raptor can do its damage to a planeswalker or battle twice, I believe. That hasn't come up yet, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works. And then the Dracosaur and the Carnosaur also get their triggered abilities doubled as well. So the Roaming Throne does loads and loads of gives us loads of value. We've got the Dracosaur, which is a huge creature. Well, it's a 5/5, but it's a flying first strike creature, so it gets above the opponent. It's great as a blocker as well. And if it survives till the beginning of our next turn, we can exile 2 cards off the top of our library and play them this turn. If we exile a land, we create a 3/1 dinosaur. If we exile a non-land, we create a treasure token. If we exile 1 of each, then we get both of those. With the Roaming Throne, it doubles that, so it exiles 4 by itself. So the mana ramp we have here is really going to help us cast lots of things really quickly and just overtake the battlefield. And then we have the Trumpeting Carnosaur, which is really, really good for lots of different things, but in itself, it's just a 7/6 trample that discovers 5, and you can use it earlier to do 3 damage to a creature or planeswalker. Another way to deal with planeswalkers. If we need it earlier on, if we have too many at the beginning in our starting hand or something, we can use them early as well. But getting to 6 mana is not difficult, considering we have the Lawkeeper, the Paleontologist, and the Raptor helping us get there. So, and Discover 5 means that we're going to get pretty much anything from our deck. If we get a Dracosaur off a Carnosaur, then we're probably going to win. And then we also have the Skull Spore Nexus, because this is another way of not just creating more dinosaur creatures, but giving loads of extra value when the opponent tries to destroy our things. Now, we can't do much about Sunfall Exile effects, but if the opponent kills one of our dinosaurs or any one of our creatures, we do have a couple of human druids in there. If they destroy any of our dinosaurs, then we can create an extra dinosaur token with power and toughness equal to the power of that creature. So, if we lose a Hammerskull, it gets replaced by another 6/6 Hammerskull. If we lose a Yearling, it gets replaced by a 3/3 dinosaur. If we lose a Raptor, it gets replaced by a 5/5. So, not only is it giving us an extra creature, but the creature replacement is actually generally higher in toughness to the creature that actually died. So that's really good value. But we can also, when our creatures are targeted by something, let's say our Hammerskull is targeted by Go for the Throat, we can spend 2 mana from the Nexus to double its power until end of turn. So it becomes a 12/6, and when it dies, it gets replaced by a 12/12 token. So we can give that trample later on. That's going to be pretty good too. For the lands, we've got the fast lands with green and red. We've got a couple of pain lands. We've got the slow lands. We also have 2 copies of the Restless Ridgeline, which is the new Ixalan creature land for dinosaurs. It becomes a 3/4 dinosaur in itself. They can also give another creature that we have that's attacking an extra +2 till end of turn and untap it, which is pretty useful as well. And we've got 1 copy of Cavern of Souls that we can use to make sure our dinosaurs cannot be countered. You could have more of those in the deck if you want to, but if you're using these to cast only dinosaur spells, then you can't cast other things with them. You can do the treasure map, because it's, and the roaming throne, because it's colorless. You wouldn't be able to do the Chomp, Lordkeeper, Gaia's Gift, or Paleontologist with those, or the Nexus. And then we've got 2 copies of Field of Ruin, because creature lands are everywhere these days. One thing I don't think I said about the Nexus is that it gets cheaper based on the greatest power among other creatures we control. So if we have a Hammerskull out on turn, well, we could have it on turn 2. If we have a Lawkeeper on turn 1, we could have a Hammerskull on turn 2, and on turn 3 we could play the Nexus for 2 mana, because it has a discount of 6 from the Hammerskull. So loads of really good synergies with this deck. We just basically want to get away to the Carnosaurs, Dracosaurs, even the Hammerskull can win a game by itself. And yeah, just beat the opponent with all that value from these dinosaurs. Now, this deck is not a very cheap or budget-friendly option, but if you do happen to have these cards from the new set, if you've been collecting lots, then it's definitely a good idea to put them to use. So we're going to get on with some games with this deck. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we're going to get into some games. It's great to have Dracosaurs and Carnosaurs early on. But there's not too much we can do here. Tempting to keep it, because I know if I get the mana, that's going to be great. But if we're against, something aggro-like, we're not going to survive to do anything, so I'm going to have to mulligan. Okay. Looks much better. We probably don't need quite so much in terms of land. Why don't we just keep... Yeah, let's keep this. So this could be a Lawkeeper on turn 1, Hammerskull on turn 2, and we're against dinosaurs as well. And a Nexus on turn 3, potentially. Okay, so we'll go with the mountain. Go with the Hammerskull. The only problem with that is the Hammerskull is going to get that stun counter if we don't have another dinosaur to play its turn. Okay, they go with the fire rigging version. Interesting. Raptor, which is great because that's an extra dinosaur, which means we don't get our stun counter. We're going to start pushing through some damage, but if the opponent has a Hammer Skull now. No, they don't. They have another Fight Rigging. Okay. In that case, they're going to take lots of damage. Okay. Yeah. They've taken damage from... Let's just go with this. They would have taken 6 there, 5 there. That's 11 just by itself. But what they didn't know is we could have played the Nexus and doubled the power of one of these next turns. So without blockers, yeah, there's no way they're going to win that. Okay. Well, we have a Lawkeeper. Play that on 1. This is risky. I'm going to keep it just to see what happens. If the opponent removes the Lawkeeper, then we're in trouble. And their colours that which might want to kill the Lawkeeper. Okay. You'll see. Got some white there as well. Beanstalk. So yeah, for 1 damage just because we can. The next turn we can do the Hulking Raptor if they don't remove something. Enchantments or land? Get another Beanstalk. Wow, okay. We need to kill these guys before they get all this value from the Beanstalk. We go with the Raptor, which is going to do damage immediately. Or we could go with the Hulking Raptor. It's going to produce the mana for us if they happen to kill our Lawkeepers. Maybe I'll go with that for now. The Rampaging Raptor would have been a good choice as well. Just for some quick damage. I'm a bit worried about a Sunfall coming next turn. Also a bit worried that we don't have any land. Well, let's just see what we can discover. If they have the Sunfall next turn, then not much we can do, but we can rebuild. Extra lands would be useful. Yeah. Is it going to be a Sunfall? No, they're making a Mirrex, which means... Well, it could be a Sunfall. Makes the Sunfall slightly bigger. There it is, okay. And they draw 2 cards. Okay, the game's basically over now. Especially considering we don't have the... Yeah, we don't have the land. We can't do anything. Don't keep a 2 land. And when you know you shouldn't. Especially in a deck like this that has so many things that need 4 or 5 to really get going. Even if I draw land now, it doesn't do anything for me. Okay. Some basics. Doesn't do anything. Interesting using commune with spirits in this kind of deck. I haven't seen anyone using that for this kind of deck. Still can't do anything. You can hit us with a land next turn. Yeah, we're done. From having not enough lands to having potentially way too much. Well, let's see what we can do here. Hopefully we draw something that isn't just, ramp and tiny removal. Chomps are okay, but they're not very much without Dinosaurs. There's a Yearling. I'll do this now. I could go with the Chomp to kill the Recruitment Officer, but I'll probably do it next turn anyway. Vanguard, okay. I want to trade. Well, let's take out the Vanguard. And then we'll get down... do the ridge line for now. I could have done the the Veil and then done the other Triumphant Chomp on the Officer. Might be some other things I'd rather do. Get rid of. They're stuck on land, so actually I'm just gonna get going with some more value and see if they want to trade for this. Yeah, same thing I had last game, just don't keep 2 lands. It's not a good idea. 3 lands, much better. Be nice to have some ramp to get to these bigger dinosaurs. Let's see what we get. We are against red aggro. Okay. Okay, so we have the land we need to get to the raptor. Pretty nice. Means we're very close to getting the Dracosaur. If we get the Dracosaur out, we've probably won. So I'm going to do whatever I can to trade. That's going to be too big. I mean, I could block 2 damage. They're going to kill me anyway. Okay. 6 damage on turn 2. Good. Another yearling. That's what I need. Just anything to block with. Although, having trample and already being a 2-3 makes it a pretty bad trade anyway. For that one, okay. So we can go with a 4-4, 4-2, or the Raptor. Raptor will give us the mana we need to get to the Dracosaur. The Roaming Throne is a bit more hardy. Although, to be honest, Lightning Strike and an extra attack here would be enough to kill me either way. Okay, so no tricks. That's good. So a land here and I should win. Okay, they're just going for it. Going for the damage. Oh, yeah, not bad. Yeah, that gave lifelink. Right, okay. So still not great. We need to get rid of that Phoenix chick. Oh wait, no, this is going to be it. 4 damage to opponent. Didn't have the reach. Yeah, not much we can do about that. Okay, pretty good. Yearling with a Hammer Skull on turn 3. And a Rampaging Raptor if we get that. That lands first. Interesting. I wonder if it's going to be an Obliterator deck. Don't see them very often. They went for the green, not black, so probably not. Someone who doesn't want to miss out on their land drops. Okay. Big green coming in. So let's hit them with a 6-2 trample. Turn. Gonna have the Hulking Raptor, which will help us get to the Carnosaur. Can remove something for 6 if we need to. Which is perfect, because that's something we want to remove. Easy way to get rid of Shieldred for 1 mana. And nothing else we can do with that land right now. Yes, I just didn't have the removal. 9 damage next turn would have done it. Okay, so tempting. Opponent's going first. And we could get the paleontologist out onto... This is going to be another one where I should have not kept it. I decided to keep it just to see what happens. So let's do... well, green there. So let's just do the forest. Give up the fact that it's dinosaurs. See if they counter or paleontologist. Okay with fire. Oh, voltage surge. Okay. Some kind of artifact deck, probably. Okay. So let's get the Hammer Skull down now. So next turn we could get down a second Hammer Skull and a Chomp. Get rid of Captain Storm. I could get rid of Captain Storm now because it tends to escalate pretty quickly. Going Throne. Okay. An artifact entering, and it doubles the triggers. The pain, but nothing we can't deal with. So I could go with attacking. Probably not. Let's just get rid of the captain for now. And I have to put out the other Hammer Skull before I attack. Otherwise I'm going to get a stun counter. Could have taken out the throne first. Hit the ward 2. But the captain's going to keep growing. And, oh, okay. That's a pain. Good thing we can kill it. So ward 1. Enough. And now we could hopefully see. Could try to ambush. So kill the kite sail when they attack. Get 2 6/6s back. 6/6s back to block with. The library, sell land, make the treasure token. Okay. Take out the kite sail. Ah, the ward 1 is doubled. Of course it is. Means I'm going to have to give up one of my skulls for that. What is a triggered ability, and the roaming throne doubles that. We can get rid of this. That would be really good. We have some other surprise, another voltage surge. Okay, they still get rid of that as well. They might have a 3/3 first striker, but I have a 5/5. They can make me not able to block. But they'll be dead in 3 turns. And I'm going to get other blockers. If this doesn't die. What could they do? Voltage surge does 4. We could have another arsonist. Attack and make it not block. No, they're going to hope to get something. I mean, I guess they have a voltage surge. I'm not going to fall for that. Maybe not. Maybe it's something else. I'm not going to risk losing Dracosaur to a voltage surge. That's my hand. Okay. Prevents the value, but it's not the worst thing ever. Now again. So remembering they still probably have a voltage surge from last time. Probably. Their last card, most likely. So I don't want to block again. With either of these, it could easily make me unable to block. The fact that they're not doing that means they want me to block. So I might save Gaia's Gift. Possibly. Might keep it back as a blocker. And then use Gaia's Gift to protect it. There's a Voltage Surge, okay. I'm guessing they're still keeping one though, because it's stopping me from blocking. Although they could just say I can't block anyway. See what value we get from the Dracosaur. Okay, it's pretty good. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 mana, which is perfect. We're going to use the Carnosaur. It would be nice to play it out. I think I'm going to use it just to kill. Well, no, I have to play it out. I was going to use it to kill creatures, but we'll see what we discover anyway. Oh, Roaming Throne, perfect. Okay. We still have Gaia's Gift. So, I'm going to keep that. I think I'm going to attack just to put some pressure on them. Because I still have Gaia's Gift to protect anything that they try to mess with. What they're going to choose. Dinosaur can't block. Okay, well let's put the fence on Carnosaur and make it hexproof. Can't be selected as a non-blocker. Let's take out... Yeah, okay, well, either way it worked. Okay, so, again, another tricky one. I think I'll keep it. Healing makes it better. Okay. Okay, the opponent is ramping up. So, we'll go with a Yearling for now. So, might do my Paleontologist on turn 3, and hopefully on turn 4 after the Dracosaur. Base is going to stop the Yearling from doing its thing. Although if we had a Hammer Skull, we could get around that. But we don't. So no attacks for now. They don't kill the Paleontologist. Okay. Did Sugu think? 5/5 first strike can deal with a 5/4 on the first striker.
Our plans are beyond your comprehension.
Okay, well the Roaming Throne would be great as well, but we're going to do the Dracosaur. We're going to give the Yearling extra, although it's not enough, so if it gave it the 5 that would be good, but it still has -3 technically. Because Jace gives it -3 rather than makes it a 0. So, fair enough. Need to kill that Jace, really. It was something big. But to be fair, the only games we've lost so far have been mono red with much a perfect hand, and the 2-land opening hand that I probably shouldn't have kept anyway. Okay, there goes all my cards. We're down to 28 left. Another Hammer Skull, which means we're going to attack through Hitotsugu. And if we, let's see, if we do that with anything, right? So we're going to take that, we're going to do this, and if they want to block the Yearling, we're going to get a 6/6 in return. They don't want to. Reach the multiverse. Here comes another Jace. That's 17, which means we get like what? Potentially win. And they've stolen a Dracosaur, so they get to discover 5. Oh, 2 cards, okay. Well, the Dracosaur, the Carnosaur is going to make it very difficult to win this. They're going to mill us. Now. There's the cards. We have 2 left. Can we win with 2 cards? Seriously doubt it. It wouldn't be funny if we did. Got it? Okay, they're going to use both their creatures. Interesting. We're going to get to cast the thing for free, which was Swamp. Oh, they had another Jace. Okay. If they didn't have another Jace next turn, they'd be dying. So, surprisingly close, considering. I guess they wouldn't have blocked if they didn't have the Jace. And we're back at the end of that. We've done 7 games, we won 4, we lost 3, which isn't too bad, but small sample sizes don't mean anything, to be honest. What could we change in this deck? To be honest, I don't know what I would change in this deck. Maybe some extra removal. We have ways of bringing creatures back if they get killed with the Paleontologist and the Nexus. We have ways of getting loads of extra value with the Dracosaur, the Carnosaur. We have lots of ways of ramping up and lots of early damage as well. And very efficient removal. So to be honest, I don't really know what you would change in this deck. So if you want to give it a go, try it out. Don't forget, pretty much everything here is a rare or a mythic. You could go with fewer 2-color lands. You could probably make do with only a few of these 2-color lands to add to the deck. And you don't necessarily need the Paleontologist. You could just go with maybe 4 Lawkeepers, or maybe 3. And Yearlings. You might not need the treasure maps. It's not like the most important card in the deck, but it's nice to have if you end up with too many lands or not enough lands. Most important things would be the Hammerskull, the Hulking Raptor, the Dracosaur, and the Carnosaur. The Nexus is nice to have, and the Throne is just extra value on top of value. But you could do this without the Throne. I will put a slightly more budget-friendly version in the description below if you want to try as cheap a deck as I could make with Dinosaurs, but this is the rare version. You'll find that in the description as well. Yeah, there's not much more to say about the Dinosaurs. They're a really cool creature type to be playing with. So, yeah, have some fun with it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks for watching this one to the end. I will see you in the next one.